is Nicholas Calderesso. My date of birth is 4/5/24. Was in the submarine force during the war, World War II.
My name is Tony Friar. My date of birth is September 8, 1922. I was in a submarine force during World War II, South Pacific.
The most complex, the most compact, the most deadly ship of war, ton for ton, ever conceived by man is the submarine.
I was a radioman, third class. In the submarine, you deal with radar, sound, and it's all communications. And during our actual war patrol, while on station, I would assist the captain up and down the periscope. When I wasn't doing that, I'd be on the sound or the radar. My first tour of duty was in the North Atlantic. And then I asked for transfer and went to submarine school in New London. And from New London, we went down to Mare Island, California, to commission the trip hang, the SS-412 diesel boat that I was assigned to. And after we commissioned the boat, because we call them boats, some people call them ships. But anyway, when it's completed, when it's all commissioned, we go down to San Diego for sea trials and test everything on the boat, make sure it's seaworthy. When that is completed, then we are assigned our war patrol missions, which are secret. Only the captain knew. We didn't get to know about it until we were actually on patrol. So my first patrol was at the Tokyo Bay, which was the worst place in the world to be, seeing as how we were in war with Japanese.
Vice President, Mr. Speaker, members of the Senate, of the House of Representatives, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
Actually, on December 7th, I was at my cousin's house listening to the radio. That's what we usually did on a Sunday night. And all of a sudden, the news came out that Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor.
I had two other brothers in the service, one in the Navy and one in the Army. And only a mother knows what they suffer when they have children out at war. And I made it worse because submarines were supposed to be so dangerous, and she was so, God, heaven knows how upset she must have been.
Pearl Harbor was probably the incentive to really go ahead, join the Navy.
When I got 17, I said, I think I'll go sign up for the Navy. So I went down and recruited, and unfortunately it wouldn't take me because I didn't qualify and I was too skinny. And the war broke out, December 7th. So shortly after that, I went back to the recruiting office, and I had no trouble getting in. And December 26th, I had at least had to spend that Christmas with my family. December 26th, after my boot training in Newport, they shipped me to the Fargo building in Boston for further transfer. So from before my time came up to go to the North Atlantic, up in Newfoundland, I decided to go home, which was, I shouldn't have because I didn't have permission to go, but when it came time for roll call, somebody called my name pretending that I'd make sure I was there, right? So I went home for the weekend, and it was a blessing in disguise because the ship that I was supposed to go to Newfoundland with ran aground and sunk. And when I got there later, I got friendly with a pharmacist mate that was from Holyoke, Mass. And he told me, he said, Dick, he says, you don't know what a blessing that was. He says, a lot of sailors lost their lives. I cheated death. And radar, on the left of the screen, they have what they call a pip. And it just stays in one place, it doesn't move. And so I'm watching it very closely. Then all of a sudden it's starting to move very, very slowly, but it's moving, indicating there's something up there. So I give the notice to the officer in charge, and he told the captain, and what it amounted to, there was a Japanese airship up there, they call it Betty, with the Bombay doors open, and the only thing we can, was a guess that either out of bombs or the Bombay doors got stuck, which was a blessing, and off he goes. And in the Philippines, we sunk 4 ships. We had them all silhouetted up against the moon, and the captain was nice enough to allow us to come topside. But before you get topside, grab any kind of a gun that's available to you and come topside. So we did, a few at a time. And there were Japanese all over the place in the water. And the cop, they called him chief of the boat, asked Captain, are we going to take any prisoners? And being a Christian Scientist, it surprised everybody. He says, full speed ahead, no prisoners. That's where I got qualified coming back from the Philippines. And as you know, September, when they signed the surrender of the Missouri, so we got back in Pearl Harbor. So I got home to 45, having enough points. I said, I'm going home. And that's what I did. The rest is history.
The day that the war ended, I was at Pearl Harbor. And that night, the place was lit up. Skyrocketed. Everybody was hollering and hooping and flying. About 3 days later, the spearfish was ordered back to the United States. And as we were leaving the harbor, all the boats that were tied up were civilians. It was pretty emotional. Set up a new projector when we were submerged. They showed movies. And of course the guys played cards. They gambled. No money involved. I owe you when I get back, if I get back. And we talked, read books. That's about it. It was on December 15th, 1945, in California. And I had not been home for Christmas for three Christmases. And I had an automobile. I had been home on leave just before that. I had a Model A Ford. I was going to drive across country. And I went up to the garage. The guy said, you'll never make it. So if you go in that room over there, you would see a Ford. It was one just like that one. So I bought that, and I picked up two other guys, and we drove back to California. So when I got back, I had enough points to be discharged. December 15th, we discharged, and I was determined to get home for Christmas. So I piled 5 guys into the car, and we headed cross country into a snowstorm. And at that time, I did not really understand that the storms traveled east. So every day we were in a snowstorm. We had quite a hard time to get home. But on December 23rd, I made it home before our first Christmas and all that time. Had a family and pretty much did what I wanted to do, but nothing extravagant. I mean, I always felt that I had been lucky enough to go through a war, and I was going to enjoy it.
When I got out of the service, I went in when I was 17. I'm a child. I'm 90 right now. And I will be April 5th, I'll be 90. At 17 years old, I thought I was a big shot. And now that I look back, 17 wasn't that big. So, but when we got home from the service, I got home, I was 22 years old. There was no work at all. And no automobiles, because during the war they didn't make any, because of the war effort. And, but later on I managed to get one. And I was so disappointed, because all I knew was military life at 17. And he said, what am I going to do? I said, I don't know. I said, I got one or two things. I think I'll go back to Hawaii and live. And I had filled out applications at some of the local factories. And just about the time when they called me to go into the service again, I got the notice to go to work. And because hindsight is 20/20, I should have gone to Hawaii. Instead, I took the job, which was very disappointing, but I had to feed the family.
Well, I have to say that when December 7th, when I heard that Japan had bombed Pearl Harbor, I was all gung-ho to go to war. But I've come to the conclusion that war never solves anything. And hopefully, someday, more than just me will understand that. Right now, we have Russia going into the Crimea. Shake your head, because there's enough room on the world for everybody. War is not the answer.
If you don't know what your goal is in life, go into the service. I would say submarines, because maybe I'm a little... I love submarines, and if I was reincarnated at that time, I'd go right back into the submarine service.
Thank you very much for sitting down and answering my questions.
Thank you for the interview. What's your mission?
Stars